Where's Joey?
He went back to his room.
I need him.
Oh, I can get it. What do you need?
I need Joey.
Well, he's busy.
I want
here.
Joey. Joey! Joey!
All right, how's everybody? Good. Sweet mother of God, what is the holdup? For God's sakes, can we stop this cruel game? For God's sakes, I can't stand to see him in all this pain. You vicious bastards! For the love of God, let the boy move in with you.
All right, guys, welcome back. Things are rolling right along. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a hiccup here. I don't know who the culprit was. It was either going to be this tube right here or the handheld tube. This is that DAP silicone, which I was talking so highly of. I'm not going to let off the pedal on that stuff. It is good, but one of these two, don't know who it was, neither have an expiration date on them, but one of the two was bad.
Holy cannoli.
So, that being said, it was kind of crazy because several days went by. I had a couple of different things going on, and it came back, and half the silicone was wet, half of the silicone was dry, and it was literally like running down. And I couldn't believe it. So I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. I even let a couple more days go by, and it was still tacky to the touch. So obviously, either the hand tube or the caulk gun that goes in the gun, one of the two was bad. So I sat here with a razor blade hour after hour after hour trying to get between these two panels right here. I think there was a couple areas over here, a little bit over here, but I tell you what, that was horrible. So little by little by little, I got the old silicone out, cleaned it all up, razor blades, alcohol, and obviously put the normal silicone in. So it is good stuff. Obviously, I don't know what the heck went wrong, but I got a bad tube. So that's all been done, corrected, and we're moving on. But the other thing I'm starting to realize we might have a little bit of a problem is these actual 6 slots that we had here in the front. We had to get rid of the one, right, because it was in this chamber right here, and I don't want the water going from here over to here, so this one got plugged pretty much. But now that the water is going to be passing through 2 through 6, well, I guess we'll call it, I'm wondering now if they're going to be able to keep up with that hammerhead, because that water is going to be rocking coming in.
Really? All right, well, Kanuka.
So before we put this chamber up underneath the tank, the only thing I can come up with now is drilling holes between the slots. So I'm setting up right now, we're going to probably put a 1/2 to 5 inch hole between the slots, so that should assist in the water getting through, because obviously the worst case is water would rise all the way to the emergency overflows way up here. Kind of looks like a castle up there. But that's the worst case scenario. We don't want that. I need the water to be down here at 14, so I'm going to pop in a couple holes right there, and hopefully that'll help, pass the water through. So that's what's coming up right now. Got the drill already set up. I'm going to put a pilot hole in, and then just walk the drill bits up, and that should do it. So that's where we're at right now. Other than that, once the holes are in, we're going to do a final cleaning. We're going to pick this up later tonight, and it's heading for the Bay Area. All right, guys, the holes are drilled. We got 4 of them in there. I actually had to walk it up little by little by little with multiple different drill bits, but in the end, we have 4 new holes right there between the 5 slots. Now, it actually, I'm still a little nervous. I'm not for sure if this is going to pan out or not. This is something we're going to have to watch. The worst case scenario is, I mean, obviously we're going to have to do a trial run, get the water flowing. The worst thing I'm thinking is maybe with the Sawzall, as much as this would hurt to do, is literally connect slots 1 and 2 right here, take out this center section and do it here, and do it way over here. So that would really open this up. So
Dad, I wish you could just shut your big yapper!
we're just going to have to watch. We'll do a trial run, obviously, on the entire system. And if it starts to choke up and create a form of resistance, we're going to have no choice but to open those up. But there it is. Chamber 1 is, I guess we'll say 100%. It's done, built, and it's time to put it underneath the tank. So here we go. All right, guys, we're back out here by the miter saw. We're actually prepping to make a couple cuts here. A couple things I wanted to touch down on real quick on the miter saw. I mean, obviously, we've been using this for a couple of years. Every time I do the filtration build-outs, I mean, granted, I know you can use a hacksaw, or they've got multiple different size pipe cutters for PVC, but I guess I'm just so used to using a miter saw. It's quick, simple. Granted, it's kind of loud, makes for one heck of a disaster, but works out good for us. But a couple of things I want to touch down on real quick, because I'm doing a couple pipes here, probably 12 of them actually, that are all going to be around 4 inches in length. Just a quick trick here. I mean, obviously I got a piece of scrap wood here for a dead end. And obviously from this face right here to the dead end is exactly 4 inches. And I need these pipes to be exactly on the money. I can't have 4 1/8. I can't have 4 1/16. It's got to be on the money, exactly 4 inch in length, so that when the end of the pipe goes into the bulkhead, the other end goes into the union, there's not a difference there when it faces up with the other half. So just real quick here, I've got a 2x4 in the back wall. And I'm actually pushing the pipe out further because I have to, because of this here and how it's locking down. When the saw is coming down, you can see that's actually hitting the motor. In this case, we're going to be drawing this out further and then coming down on top of the pipe. And obviously these two here will not touch. So we're lined up there. But like any cut, there's a couple things we got to watch out for. Obviously the first is, do we have a level playing field right here? In this case we do. Second thing, obviously, are you square on the back wall from this dead end piece of wood here on the right? In this case we're square. And then the third item is that we're actually square this way from the cutting surface down to the table. So 3 different things you want to check out for. Here, here, and here. And if you have all those 3 all lined up, you're good to go. You can mass produce a lot of pipes, and you know that they're going to be identical. In this case, that's what we need. All right, that's it on the miter saw. Let's get cutting. right, chamber 1 is in position. It looks great. I'm glad to see nothing got broke, nobody got hurt. And I tell you what, that thing was heavy. That was well over 200 pounds.
Well, Lottie frickin' da!
So that kind of opens up the door here for the next job, and that's definitely connecting chamber 1 to chamber 2. But one of the things I got to watch out for is with the 2 pipes that are coming in, right, the supply lines. So I got to paint those boards here black, but those 2 pipes are coming through. But look how close this is, right? This is going to line up right here. So that first pipe is going to be real close to the left. So I'm trying to keep chamber 1 nice and tight to the left here of the steel stand. I think I got about 1/4 of an inch back there. And I need to keep this chamber nice and tight over here to get the first 2 pipes in. But the reason I'm first pointing that out is because now that we're going to connect chamber 1 and chamber 2 together, this is getting a little tricky. So there's going to be 3 unions in the center over here, but I'm also trying to keep chamber 2 somewhat tight over here on the far right, because I really don't want to drag these 3 pipes too far left, because obviously it's going to be connected with these 3 pipes. So whatever I do over here and over here obviously is going to have impact over here. So it all starts from the left to the right, but this is getting very tricky. One of the things I'm noticing is that the tolerances here are really not that good. The outside diameter here, as opposed to the inside diameter here, as you can see here, this is a 12-inch pipe. Look how much play you can actually have here. And that can actually have a lot of impact on how it lines up here. So this has got to be, when it's cleaned and glued and goes inside here, this thing has got to be perfect in line with this. We do not want to put any stress on any of the bulkheads, all 6 of them, because of the glass. The last thing we want to do right now is get this far in the game and we start to introduce a little bit of pressure on this glass and we crack it on either chamber. So I got to be real careful here. The other thing obviously is, here's the other pipe. You can't get the pipe in the hole. So I guess what we're looking at now is I think I'm going to shift chamber 2 towards me, so the tanks will actually be staggered, the pipes will be staggered, and when the time comes we will quickly slide chamber 2 forward, and these should be in line as it's sliding over. So kind of hard to explain that one, but this is going to be real tricky. But in the end, we're trying to connect chamber 1 and chamber 2 together. Boy, I tell you what, it doesn't look like it's going to be an easy job. So stay tuned on that one. Alright guys, the pipes are cut and everybody's all taped up. We're ready for the first coat of paint. These are obviously the 3 pipes that are going to connect chambers 1 and 2 together. Well, I tell you what, this is going to be a very tricky one. This is a head scratcher here. This is not as simple as, glue the pipes in on the chamber 1 and obviously glue the pipes in on chamber 2.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
First things first, let's get these guys painted. There's the Krylon paint right there. And I'll take them outside, probably throw 3 coats on, and they'll be ready sometime tomorrow. Alright guys, here we go. The pipes are in position. As you can see how I've got the chamber 1 and chamber 2 actually staggered. This is the only way we could do this. So I've got a piece of unistrut under the 3 pipes on the right, which is coming from chamber 1. That'll make it so everything's nice and level. I've got a square so that when we put these in, we've got a true 90-degree angle from this glass to this face right here. So that we've already got things, did a couple trial runs on this, so we know exactly where we got to be. So we're going to knock out the 3 pipes on the right, and then obviously we're going to go ahead and glue the pipes on the left, and then we'll slide chamber 2 in position, and then all 3 of these should lock together and be absolutely perfect. So this is the only way I could come up with doing this. So we're going to go ahead and knock this out, and you'll see the end product here in a few moments. We're not going to film it because there's not enough hands. All right, guys, we got it. Chambers 1 and chamber 2 are put together. That worked out real well. I'm glad that me and Jackie actually came up with a pretty good plan here. It was a very nerve-wracking 10 minutes putting these pipes together with, you know, the chamber 2 being staggered, because that could have been a disaster. But we got it. Everybody's been glued. Everything's been set up, and that worked out pretty good. So that was definitely nerve-wracking. So we've already moved on, chamber 2 to chamber 3 now. These pipes have been cut and painted, and we're getting ready to land these probably sometime this afternoon. But prior to me landing these, there's been another thing that's now come up. I actually have to drill another hole into the 120-gallon acrylic tank here, and this is going to be an emergency overflow. If in the event something goes sour, we'll have a place for water to obviously quickly drain away. So you're going to see another hole probably up here somewhere, and there's going to be another pipe probably heading in this direction, coming around the back and heading from way over there to a house drain. So I definitely have to drill this before I land those 3 pipes there. And once that's done, I have to drill the hole for the hammerhead for the true supply line. So I got to knock that out.
Now you kids are probably asking yourselves, hey Matt, how can we get back on the right track? Well, as I see it, there is only one solution.
So that's where we're at. And the only other thing I got brewing right now is now I've realized there's another issue up here. You're probably going to see another hole get drilled here for this emergency overflow if in the event that something goes sour right here. So we've also landed these. This has all been glued right here. I used a pipe dope, you know, from this ready connection to the 2-inch, which is this stuff right here. I do not use the tape. I actually used a putty. I highly recommend it. So this has been attached. Everything here has been glued. The pipes are in. They've come around the bend here. You can see I got the double 45s right there. And just temporary, I just put a 90 on, but what you're going to see is probably another set of double 45s coming down. And look how close that ended up being right there. So that's why we had to work from left to right. So that part's not done, but we're getting closer. All right, that's where we're at. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on part 12. We're out of here.